Now, even though Donald Trump is the Republican nominee, there are conservatives out there that are having discussion that we in the left are also having when it comes to supporting the nominee. Now, on Fox News, conservative author Brad Thor and Donald Trump supporter David Wohl got into a little bit of a fight, a little bit of an argument or disagreement over Thor's refusal to back Donald Trump. Let's take a look at that.
You know, we kept hearing that Donald Trump was going to become more presidential. We were going to see that. And even after the Wisconsin win, he goes on morning television and he's still talking about the Rafael Cruz JFK assassination garbage in that rag, the National Enquirer. And then he's also calling George Will a loser the same day. I don't think we're going to see. I think Donald Trump is interviewing for the most important job in the world right now. And we are seeing him at his best behavior. This is as good as it gets. And it's horrible.
Can't really argue with that one. Look, I like talking about the issues, but Trump doesn't. How often does he actually talk about policy positions? Have you heard it? It's not very often, and when he does, it's a mess. So, look, he pretty much falls back on the wall or making fun of people. And for that, the wall just got 10 feet higher. Look, it's entertaining for sure, right? But as this Thor guy said, which is an awesome name to have, by the way, he's running for president and conducting himself like an asshole. Now let's get Trump supporter David Wohl's response to this. Let's take a listen.
Well, this is what people love about him, is he's kind of a guy. Despite his extraordinary wealth, his extraordinary political popularity, he gets down and dirty with people and he lets them have it when he feels it's appropriate. But Megan, he's got policies that people love. I mean, I've got neighbors. I've got a firefighter neighbor, a teacher who's a Democrat, who loves him and who's going to vote for him. His policies of pro-Second Amendment, his policies of pro-life, pro-protecting the border, not selling America out, making America first, appeal to everybody across the political spectrum.
Oh, they appeal to everyone because they're vague. Let's make America first. What does that even mean? I don't know, but it sounds nice. He's pro-border. Well, what does that even mean, right? What is pro-border? Who's anti-border? Who are these anti-border people, right? Pro-Second Amendment. Well, it turns out most people, even liberals, are pro-Second Amendment. We just want common sense gun regulation. But all of this stuff, super vague and even conservative, right? But of course, it's because Donald Trump's a demagogue. One tool in the demagogue arsenal is to be vague while still being populist, putting out those nice little slogans like "Make America Great" and "America, we got to take America back." Back from who? Did somebody come and steal America? Like you steal somebody's tire? I don't know. But it sounds good. And it's a slogan that people, you know, even smart people, even well-intentioned people, you can get caught up in a slogan. Remember, change we can believe in? Hey, liberals, we fall for it too. Shit happens. Slogans are everywhere. And they're great tools for demagogues, which is exactly what Donald Trump is. Now, here's the other thing. He said he's just a guy, right? Well, we don't need just a guy to be president. We need somebody who kind of knows what the fuck he's doing. We don't want an idiot to run us. We had that for 8 years, George W. Bush. But we also don't want a robot politician like Hillary Clinton. We just want someone who understands the plight of the regular working person, someone who empathizes and who actually has an idea on how to help us. Trump, he's not that guy. He's a billionaire that got $1 million loan from his dad and inherited like $40 million. He's not one of us. He looks down on all of us. Trump's not afraid to punch down at people when you should be punching up at the powerful. Now, I have another part of this exchange, and it's probably my favorite part, and you'll see why. Take a look.
Well, Megan, he's interviewing now. I mean, he changes his positions. The guy's got more positions than a porn star. Nobody knows what he really stands for. He has no core.
Just give me a second.
All we know is his history.
Okay, good.
That's
Go.
the only thing we know is what he's said and done in the past.
Go ahead, David.
Brad's a very intelligent guy. There's no question about that. But Brad, does it concern you at this point in time, given the status of everything right now, that when you condemn Donald Trump, you are becoming a de facto Hillary Clinton surrogate? Because all of
Let
the
him
people
answer
in
that.
the
Let him answer that,
mainstream...
because people make that charge.
Sure.
Go ahead, Brad.
Yeah.
David, here's the deal, and I respect your admiration for Donald Trump and your surrogacy for him, but when is he going to try to win us over? The guy has got, I've said this repeatedly, I think he's got some great ideas, but it's time to start acting presidential. I don't want Don Rickles in the White House. Enough with the insult. He's like trying to insult comedy dog.
He's won over tens of millions of Americans, and at this point, I have to say, Brad, all due respect,
where do you get
up
tens,
to you.
He's
got more than 11 million. He's got more than 11 more votes than anyone in the history of the GOP.
What were you going to say, David? It's up to you.
I got to say, Brad, it's up to Brad now to come to Donald Trump's side.
No,
Donald Trump doesn't have to do
arrogance of
anymore. He doesn't have to come
Hold
to
on,
this.
I'm going to give you the floor in a second, Brad. I'm going to give you the second. Let him finish. Go ahead, David.
He does not have to come to people like Brad, hat in hand, down on one knee, saying, please, people like me. He's already accomplished that. So many people like him now. They've given him a huge mandate, and it's up to Brad to come over to his side. And I think Brad will.
Brad, go ahead.
Well, I am not going to come over to Donald Trump if he's acting like this. And that shows you Donald Trump is not only extremely arrogant, but, David, that statement as a fellow American is incredibly arrogant that somehow I've got to go to him. He wants to represent me. He's an American, no better, no worse than I am. And he has to prove himself worthy of that office. And that kind of arrogance is beneath the dignity of the entire country. It's too arrogant.
He changes positions more often than a porn star. I love that line. Even if it was rehearsed, it was great. But no, he's running the points, right? Now, I want to say a quote here. It's up to you to get behind Trump. If not, you're a de facto Hillary Clinton surrogate. Now, does that sound familiar? Because I've heard that argument, not from the right, but from the left. If you don't line up behind Hillary, well, you're obviously for Trump. You're going to get Trump elected. Well, look, maybe he's got a point when it comes to the Republican side, since Donald Trump has already locked up the nomination. But on the Democratic side, it ain't over until the last vote's counted. See, and here's the thing. I am so tired of hearing that you've got to line up behind the lesser of two evils for the sake of not losing to the other party. No, we're supposed to choose the candidate that aligns more closely to our own beliefs. Now, either we're doing that, and it just turns out that the Democratic Party wasn't exactly what I thought it was. Or we're not doing that, and we're falling into the trap of we've got to choose what we think is the more electable one, because we've been told for 30 years that liberalism is terrible and that people don't want progressive policies. Now, I could show you a dozen polls that shows that progressives, when you break down policies by one, and you ask people, do you support this kind of policy? Progressive policies almost always win, especially when it comes to economic issues. So don't tell me that we're not a liberal, that we're a center-right nation, because I'm not buying that at all. It turns out most Americans have a mix of things. That's why 40% of Americans are independents. They don't fall into either camp, which right now we seem to have one center-right camp and one far-right camp, and that's the Republican Party. Now, to many of us, that is, let's see, where we fall, to many of us, who we align with is Bernie Sanders. And to Brad Thor, well, that's not Donald Trump. We shouldn't have to go to him. We shouldn't have to go to them. They should come to us, because they need us more than we need them. They're supposed to represent us. Or have we forgotten how this whole thing works? Or is supposed to work? Politicians work for us. If they want our votes, then they better start reaching out to those who aren't quite buying the party line. The people that are not just blindly voting for a D or an R, which is the majority of the public. Because come November, they're going to need us, whether they realize it or not. They've got to be the ones to reach out. We're not going to fall in line. So you either try to reach out for us, or you're going to lose us. Because we are not to be taken for granted.